Imagine choking on smoke, unable to enjoy the summer air. That's the reality for many Americans right now. And the finger is being pointed north at Canada's devastating wildfires. But here's the kicker. While some US politicians are quick to demand action from Canada, they're conspicuously silent on the elephant in the room: climate change. Is this a genuine concern for public health, or a convenient way to avoid addressing a more complex and politically charged issue? Republican lawmakers have been vocal in their criticism, issuing strongly worded statements and letters expressing outrage over the smoke that has blanketed several states. They argue that Canada isn't doing enough to contain the wildfires, which have disrupted summer vacations and posed significant health risks. For example, the GOP congressional delegation from Michigan lamented that, for the third summer in a row, their constituents are forced to breathe hazardous air due to Canada's alleged failure to prevent and control wildfires. Similar sentiments have been echoed by Republicans in Iowa, New York, North Dakota, Minnesota, and Wisconsin. Their proposed solutions often include increased forest thinning and prescribed burns, measures aimed at preventing fires from starting in the first place. Some have even gone so far to suggest that the smoke is damaging relations between the two countries and could become a point of contention in future tariff negotiations. But here's where it gets controversial. What's noticeably absent from their demands is any acknowledgement of the role that climate change plays in exacerbating these wildfires. Climate scientists argue that this omission is not only glaring, but also dangerously short-sighted. It also conveniently ignores the United States' own significant contribution to greenhouse gas emissions, primarily from burning fossil fuels like coal and gas. These emissions trap heat in the atmosphere, leading to more intense heat waves and droughts, which in turn create the perfect conditions for destructive wildfires. It's a vicious cycle, and ignoring one part of it won't solve the problem. As Jennifer Francis, a climate scientist at the Woodwell Climate Research Center, bluntly put it, if anything, Canada should be blaming the US for their increased fires. This raises a crucial question. Who is really to blame? Canada, for its part, has acknowledged the severity of the situation. The Canadian government recently announced nearly $46 million in funding for wildfire prevention and risk assessment research projects. Corey Hogan, Parliamentary Secretary to the Federal Energy and Natural Resources Minister, emphasized the need for international cooperation, stating that Canadians are highly motivated to address the wildfire issue. He also highlighted the international challenges brought on by climate change, stressing the need for a global approach to tackle the problem. Canada has been grappling with unprecedented wildfire rates since 2023, which saw the largest wildfire on record. This year's first fire started unusually early, in April, and 2024 is already the second worst year on record. As of Thursday, over 700 wildfires were burning across the country, with 2/3 classified as out of control. These fires have already burned over 28,000 square miles, 72,520 square kilometers, an area almost 5 times larger than the area burned in the US this year. While most wildfires are started by people, either intentionally or accidentally, lightning is a significant cause, especially in remote areas. Ken McMullen, president of the Canadian Association of Fire Chiefs, while not wanting to debate climate change, acknowledges that something fundamental has changed. He points to the drying up of sloughs and basins and the receding water levels in lake communities as evidence of a shifting environment. People can make up their own mind as to why that is, he said, but something clearly has changed. And this is the part most people miss. It's not just about the immediate fires, but the underlying environmental shifts that are making them more frequent and intense. The previous US administration, under President Donald Trump, actively undermined climate science and action. Trump famously called climate change a hoax and worked to dismantle federal climate science and data collection efforts. He proposed revoking the scientific finding that greenhouse gases endanger public health, declared a national energy emergency to expedite fossil fuel development, cancelled grants for renewable energy projects, and withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement. These actions, largely supported by Republicans in Congress, have had a significant impact on global efforts to combat climate change. The Associated Press reached out to several Republicans who criticized Canada, but none responded to requests for comment. This silence speaks volumes. Democratic lawmakers, on the other hand, have been quick to point out the hypocrisy of criticizing Canada while ignoring climate change. Representative Chellie Pingree of Maine stated that the wildfires are jeopardizing health and air quality in her state, but criticized Republicans for failing to acknowledge climate change and work towards proactive solutions. Similarly, Representative Gwen Moore of Wisconsin criticized her Republican colleague's letter to Canada's U.S. ambassador, arguing that those who deny climate change shouldn't be prescribing actions to contain it. McMullen, the Canadian wildfire expert, emphasizes that battling these fires is not as simple as it seems. The vastness of the country and the remoteness of many fires often make it impractical or impossible to extinguish them, especially when there are no immediate threats to residents or structures. In some cases, letting fires burn is the best course of action to prevent even larger and more dangerous fires in the future. Prescribed burns are used in some areas, but they are not always feasible or effective. University of Michigan climate scientist Jonathan Overpeck argues that the two countries should collaborate on climate change solutions, emphasizing that our smoke is their smoke is ours. He warns that as long as the trend of warming and drying continues, the problem will only worsen. However, he also offers a glimmer of hope, stating that we know what the cause is, we can stop it from getting worse. So what do you think? Is it fair to blame Canada for the smoke blanketing the US? Or is it time for a serious conversation about climate change and its role in these increasingly devastating wildfires? Should the US be focusing on pressuring Canada or on reducing its own carbon footprint? And what responsibility do individual citizens have in addressing this global crisis? Share your thoughts in the comments below.